Uh, so this is my Smackdown review of the Go Home show for Night of Champions, and in my opinion, this was a weird show. I think because of the crowd, because they were really great. The crowd overall was really great, but between matches, like they would go suddenly silent, but then they will chant. Like that took you out because you're so used to like the reactions that US crowds generally do, the way that they are there. So it felt weird, but I think I liked the show. Like everything made sense. Uh, First, starting with it's punk life, it's basic economics, and in my opinion, this segment, like it made sense. Like storyline wise, it makes sense that Cena did a parody of his pipe bomb, so he and made fun of his pipe bomb essentially. So he did a parody of his earlier gimmick, which was thugonomics, and showed how stupid that gimmick is. It's just that the lines I think didn't really hit, and it's been a problem with CM Punk. Like when he really has to like think, from on the bounce, it looks like he stumbles a bit sometimes, and he's not a natural rapper. So some lines didn't stick. It was still good. Like the Drake line was good. The slow mo line was great, and then it's like you are like more problematic than Hulk Hogan was great also. Like some lines was like John, and then that, and it didn't have the cadence. It was still fine, still felt kind of embarrassing for Punk to do this, especially after he like apologized and then having this segment. Like it felt like why is CM Punk doing this? Like it makes sense storyline wise, it's just that CM Punk doing this. And this felt like, should this be the go home segment? Should the go home segment have been like CM Punk doing his kind of like pipe bomb log, or them having like a back and forth promo, which we didn't really got, like except for the first week. But still it was fine. Like the the crowd didn't like CM Punk, but through his rap he made those people change their mind. Like they were chanting his name at the end of the show. Cena's expressions were a little bit funny. Like you could see that he wanted to laugh a lot, but he was like stopping himself. It did take me out of it a little bit, but still it was very good. Like I would recommend people to check it out. The entrance and the promo, it was overall good. It was overall fine. Then going into the rest of the show, I would say the Smackdown tag team title stuff, I would say the match wasn't really anything like great. It was fine. It's just that when you're trying to sell me that Wyatt 6 are the big scary tag team of the Smackdown tag team division, like big scary tag team, but then you have Dexter Loomis and Joe Gacy fighting, while on their opposite the Street Profits are there, who are like probably like bigger than them and are having like a 50-50 battle in the ring. Like I think the Wyatt Six did need having Eric Rowan in place of one of Gacy or Loomis to have them be more intimidating. I do think what eventually is gonna happen is, I think Eric Rowan is gonna replace one of them, probably Loomis. Like Loomis is still a little bit iffy in the ring. Like you can see like him going for the pin where it's not required, and then you can see like Joe Gacy is much more like free flowing in the ring. I think what they can do is like maybe Wyatt Six can now go back to the drawing board and be like look, these are these are people going after us. Maybe we do need to replace them, and maybe Uncle Howdy and Eric Rowan tag team, and they go for the tag team division. I do think at the start I was like, yeah man, why did they do this DQ? But this was a really innovative brawl. Like it could have ended just them beating each other up and then segment ends. But it actually like showcased everyone. Like except like Los Garzas, like they got their ass kicked at the start by the Wyatt Six. Like, and one thing that they have always done, like whenever someone interferes in like a Street Profit tag team title defense, they always attack the Street Profits first. Like I think the Garzas attacked the Prophets first, and then they went to the Wyatt Six. So like Eric Rowan comes into the ring and he just like like clotheslines both of the Garzas. Then Fraxium and Motor City Machine Guns come. They tried to kick him. Like four of them gave him like dual super kicks, and then like threw him out of the ring. Then Fraser tried to like do a suicide dive, but Eric Rowan caught him. Then Motor City Machine Guns did the like the double drop kick. Then Axiom was also trying to go outside, but then Uncle Howdy came into the ring and gave him Sister Abigail. But then Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford came and they put Uncle Howdy out of the ring. Then Angelo Dawkins flew over the top rope, and then Montez Ford flew over the top rope and like the ring pole, and then they were standing tall at the end. So I did this this segment. It made everyone like gave everyone their spot. It also like added jeopardy to the Wyatt Six that you may be the big scary tag team, but it's not like we are just the dunces like there to like fall at your feet. I do think what they need to do, one thing that this storyline has done is that it has kind of like stopped Fraxium's progression. Like Fraxium like immediately like one like we defeated all of the Smackdown tag team division and then had a match with Profits. Now they just feel like they're one of the tag teams. I do think what they need to do with the Smackdown tag team division is give them more promo time in the ring, give them more vignettes, like give them all that stuff also, so that people can really like latch on to their characters. Like if you want Fraxium to get over, first is to have them have matches, and second is the relationship between Fraser and Axiom and their chemistry. Like they're funny, like they're humorous. I do think the direction should be eventually at SummerSlam have like a six pack tag team TLC or ladder match. Like that is like the perfect opener to a two-night SummerSlam. Like they clearly want SummerSlam to be like their second WrestleMania because it's two nights. And I think having that type of match as one of your openers, like probably night one, like that would be great. And there you can have the Wyatt Six take the tag team titles, and then eventually, then I can see probably Motor City Machine Guns and probably DIY going to Raw. And you already have Andrade and Ray Phoenix. I hope they keep them as a tag team because they finally like you don't really need to have like a story with them. Like Andrade and Ray Phoenix, like yeah, we are a tag team. Like do like a vignette or something where we both have been treading water, but then when we faced DIY, we found out that we can do things together, and now we are in this because there is a ready-made storyline. Like you can replace one of the tag teams, be have Andrade and Ray Phoenix. Like we also want to like take down the Wyatt Six, and I think that would be great for them because they will have something to do. They will get booked regularly. If they have regular matches, they will get over anyways. And aside from that, both of them don't have anything to do. Like they don't, because a match was set up between Andrade and Ray Phoenix versus DIY. This crowd, I would say, this Saudi crowd, like they were like smarky, like to an extent. Like they were Johnny Wrestling chants, they were NXT chants. Like Julia was getting cheered a lot. Then you had Asuka getting cheered a lot. So I think they kind of like looked at the criticisms that they were getting from like the rest of the world, and they were like we'll show you the type of wrestling fans that we are. Like they know a lot of the wrestling. So you had that great match, which I thought that storyline wise would have made sense for DIY to win because they are like an active part of the SmackDown Tag Team Division storyline. Like they are like one of the reasons why the Wyatts are in the position that they are because because they're scaredy cats like pushing everyone to fight the Wyatts instead of themselves. So that is kind of like storyline wise. I'm like, why did DIY not win? I liked that Andrade and Ray Phoenix won. It's just that like this better be than the introduction of Andrade and Ray Phoenix into the tag team division, because otherwise you just have them win. Like it doesn't make sense to me. Though it does feel like they are putting that Candice LeRae is like the key to their success. That like if Candice is there, they will win. Then the other stuff which happened, like Julia and Zelina had a good promo. They had a fine match, I would say. Like a lot of things happened. Like there were chants of Julia and everything, but it looked like the match they didn't really care about like the spots. Like you were supposed to react to the spots as well, which they were not that much. But then Julia like gave her like two Arabaderchi knees and then gave her a finisher and she won. And you can see how much Triple H is pushing her, because they, they had Zelina come out first, then they had Julia. Julia won like pretty convincingly without any help, without any shenanigans, and then in the end had like the whole pyro and everything also. And I think you should have the Gunther plan, like have Julia hold to the title for a long time, where you can have some feuds, but mostly like Gunther's reign, he was not only going up against upper mid carders or mid carders, he was also going up against lower mid carders too. Like remember Champa? Like he had stuff with Champa also. Like Braun Strowman, he didn't really have a storyline, but he had a match with him. So there will be some times where matches just happen, and there will be some times where she will actually go up against like upper mid carders of the women's division. What you really need to do with her is her first opponents have to be someone who are important. It's just that I don't see, apart from like Zelina, like a rematch, who that can be. Like you can add Alexa and Charlotte into this, like have like a number one contenders match, maybe do a triple threat, but then you're having a IC title triple threat too. Maybe Alexa wins, Charlotte interfere at Evolution, Secret Harvest comes out. You can do a lot of stuff where you can continue that Alexa and Charlotte storyline, but also give Julia the much needed rub that she needs. It's just that I don't know who can Julia challenge. Like apart from like Zelina, and then you can have Michin feud. But apart from that, I don't know what you really do with her, because everyone is kind of busy right now. Like like all of them have their spots. So I don't know who is there for Julia to fight against. But I hope that she is booked strongly, and I hope that she is champion for a long time. Then you had, you know, the Tiffany and Naya match, which I didn't really like. Like it kind of made Naomi look like a fool. Not that she did not make the right decision to cash in. It's just that you got your ass beat by a half dead Tiffany Stratton pretty convincingly. And then Tiffany like used the same briefcase that you brought to defeat Nia Jax. It did make sense, like it was kind of poetic that the same briefcase that Tiffany used to beat Nia for the champ, like to become champion, is the briefcase that she used to end her feud with Nia Jax. I do think what's next for Tiffany is probably a match against Trish at Evolution, and I can see Naomi cashing it in there. Like Tiffany wins against Trish, and then you have Naomi cashing, because I do think they want like a big headline coming from Evolution. Like, oh, the women's Money in the Bank have been cashed in at Evolution, and you have a new women's champion. I do think that we can see that also. You had a Jade Asuka segment also. Asuka is Asuka, she was very over with the crowd. Jade, it kind of feels like she tries a lot. Like she tries to act angry. Like just let Jade be Jade. I think you need to give Jade a mic and say, be yourself. It kind of feels like she tries to be like a wrestling character, like kind of like Logan Paul. Like he tries to be a wrestling heel on the mic, and you can figure out that he's like changing the tones of his voice. Like they're doing too much, and you can see that. Like Naomi came out, she got shut the fuck up chance, but in the end, Naomi tried to like do something with Jade. Asuka laid Jade out, and I do think that means that Asuka is losing because she's too tall here. Because I think what's going to happen is Naomi is going to interfere anyways, And what you're going to see is inadvertently Jade will get smart, but it will cost Asuka the match, and Jade wins anyway. So Jade gets the win over Asuka. She becomes the queen of the ring. Asuka loses, but she loses because of like a Naomi interference. And I do think probably the plan for Evolution is gonna be Io versus Asuka, or probably like Io versus Stephanie versus Asuka, like something like that, because otherwise there is nothing for Io to do. Like Jade wins, like maybe you set up Naomi versus Jade or Tiffany versus Jade for SummerSlam. I do think Naomi's next feud is probably gonna be Bianca Belair, or maybe they have like a Naomi versus Jade match at Evolution. Maybe, I don't know, something is gonna happen. I do think whenever Bianca comes back, her first feud is gonna be with Naomi. I think that's why they had her come back in her hometown and did that whole like Naomi segment, because they want to set up that when she comes back. And you also had like the bloodline stuff, which was like, I don't know if it's the producer, if it's himself. JC Mateo has got to be the most boring wrestler in WWE. Apart from his finisher, like he is just boring in the ring. He doesn't have like the build that other like big guys do. He doesn't have any aura. He moves slow in the ring. So that's the thing, that I don't know if it's himself. Like they have to do something, because also they have not booked JC Monteo the best, because after coming back he had like he has gotten beat up by Jacob Fatu. He lost one match to Jimmy Uso, so he's not like that some unstoppable beast. They have not booked him like that. Also, his matches, the way they've been produced, like he gets worked over a lot also. So I don't know what, because the thing is he has a good entrance music, but they need to do more with him, because uh, I do think the the what WWE wants is from this feud is to have JC Mateo like be another like beast that they have on the roster. I do think that's the eventual plan, but how do you do that? Like JC wins a boring match due to like distraction, and then Solo tries to like shake Jimmy's hands, but then he doesn't. They try to beat him up. Jacob comes out, he saves Jimmy, and like they have like some kind of tension. And also it kind of looks like Hikuleo or someone is debuting or coming back, because in the backstage segment, Solo was like they don't even know that what we're gonna do this Sunday, or like why we are at the top. We're gonna show him. So it kind of looks like something is gonna happen, and because Jacob was standing tall here, like it kind of telegraphs that I do think Solo is gonna win. Even though I don't want him to win, I do think that's what's gonna happen. From what, in my opinion, what they should do is have Jacob win against Solo. I don't know how. Maybe uh, JC Mateo's distraction doesn't work in Solo's favor, and that's what causes Jacob to win. And what you do with Solo and JC is that Solo is angry at JC and he's like, we need to do something new. And then you kind of have, then what you do is you have them go into like kind of like hibernation or something. And then you have maybe Jacob defends his US title against Jimmy at Saturday Night's main event, or like the Smackdown before Saturday Night's main event, or you have like him defend it against Damien Priest. But then what you have is you, you like Solo and Mateo come back, but they bring like the Tongans with them, and then you can set up things. Maybe do like a fatal four-way at SummerSlam. It can be Solo, JC, Jimmy, and Jacob for the United States Championship. And what you do is you have like the Tongans on the side of Jacob and Jimmy, but then Hikuleo debuts, he beats up Jacob, and what you have is have Solo pin Jimmy there at SummerSlam and have him become the US champion. That way, Jacob doesn't get pinned, he loses his United States Championship, Solo gets a title run also, and you have a new guy debut as well. And maybe then you have like Solo's bloodline, but then you give them like a different name. You can do that. And that was mainly the show. You had the Cody and Randy segment also, which was kind of nothing. I expected more from Cody, but he just said that you think that you're gonna need the King of the Ring, but you're not because I'm gonna win. I think one thing is Cody sometimes. I think he thinks that lines actually are like zingers, but they're actually not, which it was not here. It was fine. Uh, I think overall I will give this a show 3 out of 5 or 3.5 out of 5, something between, or I don't know. But what did you think about this show? Tell me in the comment section. If you like this type of content, like this video, share and subscribe. If you don't, then share it with those who do. My social media accounts are on my Twitter/X account and my Instagram account, links are in the description. So go donate any amount of money which you can, which will help me make YouTube a permanent career option. So that was it for me for today. So thank you, goodbye, Aloha.